Hello, 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 everyone. It is Teresa from Teresa's Silhouette Spot for all things art, where I love sharing art from my heart and helping you create joy through some quick and easy art projects. Today, guess what we are painting? Can you guess? I think you can guess. Anyway, so when you hop on, let me know where you're watching from. Let me know if you are new. I'll use this big brush. And we will get started painting. So yes, if you didn't see, this is it. Yes, I am painting a watermelon, but first I'm going to do a really fun and colorful background for y'all. And then we will add the watermelon and the lettering. So let's click that, and here we go. So I have this. I have already traced on this slice of watermelon and my lettering. I did go over my lettering with a Sharpie, so I'll be able to see it when I after I paint. And I'm just going to get some of this really fun lime green. I'm going to load my brush up with a little bit of this lime green, and I'm going to dip a corner in the white, and I'm just going to start painting everywhere with this lime green. So this is a piece of plywood. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it, but it is approximately 12 by 12. And I'm just doing a really sloppy background. I will come over my watermelon a little bit, but I'm not going to completely color it in because I don't have to, because I'm going to be painting it. I could be neat and worry about the lines, but again, I'm not going to do that either. So I'm just going around picking up a little bit of the slime and this white. So how is everyone? Did you recuperate? Who went back to work today? Who is on vacation? Who is retired? Whose husband, mine, APHFM, just came home and is mowing the lawn, even though I told him I had a live. So, sorry peeps, if you hear the lawnmower every once in a while go by, or that real loud engine noise, it is my husband. He is outside mowing the lawn, which is good. He came home from his day job. He was a little hot and bothered. So I'm surprised he is out there mowing the lawn, but that's okay. It's a rider. He'll be fine. I heard him hydrating, so that's a good thing. So how was first time watcher from Indiana? Hello, Andrea from Indiana. I'm a longtime painter from New York. I have cousins in Fishers. Are you anywhere near Fishers? They used to live here on Long Island in New York, and then they moved to Indiana about, wow, you know what? I couldn't even begin to guess. Maybe 10 years ago? I could be wrong. You guys, you know how time flies, right? So fast. So I'm just, every once in a while, I'm picking up a little bit of white because I don't want this to be just one flat color. And I'm going to even darken up the corners a little bit for you guys. Now see how I can still see my lettering because I added in that little Sharpie over there. So I need a little bit more of this. Good evening, Tony Block. How are you? Indian 1C. Okay. I've only been to visit them in Indiana once. And that was about what, 3 or 4 years ago, I think. I should probably go back. My aunt is a whopping 98 years old, and she is having the time of her life. She recently moved into some Baybrook, I think. I don't remember the name, so don't quote me. Assisted living. And this week's picture was her kayaking. Okay? Recently, the picture was her dancing, and then the one before that was them zip lining. So, okay, imagine 89-year-old woman zip lining. I mean, a 98-year-old woman, 89 maybe, 98-year-old woman zip lining. Okay, so I have that cool background right there. Oh, I love to kayak. Oh, good, you could go with the people at the assisted living. So I'm gonna take, I have this sponge, it's an art sponge. I'm gonna just wet it a little bit with my fingers right there. Just a little bit. I'm just dipping it in my dirty paint water and wiping it on there. All right, and then I'm gonna come over here by my dark green, and I'm just going to pick up a little bit of this dark green and the light green at the same time. And now I just want to come in here and I want to make my corners a little bit darker. So that's all I'm doing. I'm just adding in a little bit of shading to my corners. And you could do this with a brush. You can do this with a sponge like I'm doing. Whatever, or you could not do it at all. Whatever you want to do. So did everyone have a nice 4th? Well, not you, Tanya. You didn't celebrate 4th of July. Actually, you might do the opposite on 4th of July. Because I think, if I remember right, Tanya, you're from the UK. And we all know what 4th of July means. I'm just kidding with you, though. But I do think that you are from the UK, right? So, we had company on Sunday. So on 4th of July, we were kind of just hanging out. My daughter's friends came over. My daughter is home for about a week. She lives in Costa Rica. And she had a few friends over. It was just totally impromptu. They hung out in the pool. We had some nachos. No, Spain. Yes, you're right, Spain. So you don't care about 4th of July. You are right. I knew you weren't from here, and I apologize for not remembering. So next time I will hopefully remember, Tanya. So even though you are in Spain, you still didn't celebrate the 4th of July. So, oh, that's right. And I told you my friends were in Spain. My friends have now moved on to Italy, I think. I think they're away for like 2 weeks. Okay. So I have now gotten this really nice. When I look up, now I don't want to be too particular about it, but I want my center to be somewhat even and round. No celebrating the 4th of July here. Nope, that is for sure. I know that we like to vacation in Jamaica, and in Jamaica they make a big deal about their Freedom Day, but I don't remember when it was. I don't remember the date. I should remember. We've been there a few times. It's always a trivia question, but I don't remember. But anyway, so this is what we have here. If you want this tracer, you can put tracer in the comments. It comes with Sweet Summertime and then the watermelon. It's a very simple tracer. You can put tracer in the comments and I will send you the tracer. And then you can really use, aside from like, well, you know what? It's art. You can use any color watermelon you want. I mean, I was going to say, aside for the watermelon, which you want it to be green and red. But you know what? It's your watermelon. It doesn't have to be green and red. It can be whatever you want it to be. So I just put out a little bit more dark. And then I have these 2 other greens. And I'm going to come over here and I'm going to double load my brush. So we had on, what do you call it? On Sunday, we were supposed to go to family. My niece was here from Maryland. We got anybody from Maryland watching? My niece is here from Maryland. Tracer, please. Hey, Melanie. How are ya? My niece is here from Maryland, and we were supposed to go to my brother-in-law's for a 4th of July barbecue. They have a 4th of July barbecue every year. We were supposed to go there on Sunday. Supposed to be there around 1. I wonder am I breaking up? Because I'm breaking up for me. Am I breaking up for you guys? Anyway, so my phone rings at 12:30. We're supposed to be where we're supposed to be at 1. And she goes, "Did you leave yet?" And I'm like, "Nope, not yet." And she's like, "Okay, because we're going to come there instead." I was like, "Okay." So just like that, it was only my nephew and his family, my niece and his family, my brother-in-law. It wasn't that crazy of a time, but all of a sudden I was like, oh, okay, I'm having company. I didn't know I was having company. So now to paint the watermelon rind, I'm using this big fat brush. It's about a 1-inch flat brush. I have it double loaded, which means I have both of these color greens on my brush, and I am putting the dark green of the rind to the outer edge of my pencil mark, And I'm just gonna keep filling this in. Oh, it was frozen. I wonder if there's an internet issue at this time. So this is an unusual time for me to go live, you guys, in Craft Around the Clock. And I wonder, I know after school, but it's not after school now. I wonder if this is just a bad time in general. I guess I'm gonna have to figure it out, because now I'm gonna be going live at different times and we will have to figure it out. So since I'm using wood and wood sucks up the paint, I have to keep going over it and over it and over it to make sure I get the coverage. Watermelons are one of my favorite things to paint in summertime, because you can make them as detailed or as simple as you want. I have this one straight across, but I think I'm going to get a pencil. I'm going to change it, and I'm going to take a bite out of it. And I think I'm going to take the bite out of it. It's a Facebook problems. Oh, okay. I think I'm going to grab a pencil, and I'm going to take my bite out here, where I have the most green. Okay, and you'll see what I mean by that in a second. So now I need to do the inside of my watermelon. I'm going to do the inside of my watermelon. Yes, watermelons are red, and if I were to look at a watermelon, I would see red. A fine artist, which I am not. I am a decorative artist. I'm the first to admit it. I'm a decorative artist. I wasn't born with the art gene. I'm not a fine artist. I'm a decorative artist. I have learned a skill. I love sharing that skill, but more importantly, I love sharing the feeling I get when I paint. I love sharing how paint calms me, paint soothes me, painting is my me time, and if I can teach you a little bit of that to do it yourself, or you have a little bit of me time because you've come and watched me paint, or you've been on my Facebook page, or you've been to my YouTube, and you can just sit and chill for a little bit. Art is healing, and that is where I love art, and I love sharing my art. But that was not my point. My point was, when I look at certain things, I need to fix my green here. When I look at this green, or I look at my background, or I look at watermelon, there goes the lawnmower again, or I look at watermelon, I see red. A fine artist, and I'm going to pick you guys up again a little bit, I just need to fix this. A fine artist would see like 5 different shades of red, at least, maybe more, maybe less, but a fine artist would see variations, would see where the light hits, would see where the shadow hits, would see all that. I don't see that, but I can still create that, and I do create it with my art. So instead of just getting red, there we go. Instead of just getting red and being done with it, I have a mixture here, and there's not that big of a difference. I have deep burgundy or berry wine, depending on which paint you're using, and then I have this cardinal red, because I'm going to use both these colors, because it's not going to make a huge contrast, but it's going to make a little bit of a contrast, and we were going to have then different shades of red for our watermelon. And that was a long explanation for something that was not needed. But anyway, so yes, so I'm coming in here, I've got this cardinal red. I'm trying to be very careful with my line. I have a lot of paint in my brush. I am always moving my project around. I don't paint on an easel. I tend to turn my project, and I always say I'm going to get a Lazy Susie, and I still haven't. But I'm coming in here with my brush and oh so carefully applying this Cardinal Red. And you see I came in here and I took out a little bite. Now you can leave it, you can take a bite, you can leave it, totally up to you. Okay, now I'm just going to take up some of this berry and start adding it in here. And it's just going to do different shades. So some areas are going to be darker. I don't know if you're even going to be able to see it on your screen. I can see it a little bit. Make those little teeth marks a little uneven. And I'm just adding in a little berry wine in here, just to give a little bit of variation to my red. And there we go. So I'm going to leave it at that. Hey Deb, how are you? It's good to see you. So if you just hopped on, let me know where you're watching from. Let me know how your holiday was. We had, I want this to be a little thicker here. There we go. You know what's going to happen? I'm going to mess it up, and then I'm going to end up not having a bite mark. There we go. We'll leave it like that. So my daughter number 2 is home. We are actually going to be going to the beach this week. I cannot wait. There are benefits to being home and off in the summer from my job, which I love. I spent most of today coming up with a new schedule for myself, since I will be full-time in my art business now. I will be on here during the day and not just on Wednesdays, and there's going to be a lot of changes going on. So lots going on here at Teresa's Spot for Art, and I am very excited. So yes, today I spent most of my day time blocking a schedule, because I'm going to treat my day like any other work day, where I'm going to have certain things that I need to do and get done in a timely fashion. Okay, so we have our watermelon, we have our rind, and we are good to go. So now I'm going to use this little tiny flat brush. It's about 1/4 inch, and I'm going to pick up a little bit of this black paint on it. When we load our brush, we want to put a little bit of pressure. We want the paint to get up there in the bristles. Okay. And then I'm just going to push and lift and add my little oval seeds to my watermelon. Okay, now up here, let me get something. I need a little piece of paper, a little scrap paper. I'll use my ruler. So I'm just going to put this right here, because I want it to look like one of the seeds got cut. So instead of being careful and having to worry about it, I put my ruler down on the red and then do it just like that, and then I don't have to worry about messing it up or getting it where I need it to be or getting it where I didn't want it, because that is it. Okay. Now I'm going to get my liner brush. I need to fill in this little bit of red right here. I'm making my bite a little bit neater. You know me, I'm not about measuring, I'm not about worrying about how even or straight anything is. But there are certain things, like the bottom of a watermelon and the cut. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Cynthia. And the cut that you need to have straight. You want it straight. You don't want it, you know what? Nature is pretty amazing. And if nature can make a watermelon with these beautiful colors and these beautiful straight lines, I can try and do it as well. Okay? So that's where we're at. Okay, now I'm going to use my liner brush and I'm going to start putting in the lettering. So I am not a letterer, you guys. I do not have any patience for lettering. I am learning. I am learning. I am learning. Lettering is a little different than just getting some paint colors that you love. I always say art is art. It can't be wrong. However, lettering has to have a little knack to it. Has to have a little bit to it. So you can either use a stencil. You can use a brush like I'm doing. You can get one of these handy dandy little Posca paint pens. They come in all different colors. The thing is with these Posca paint pens, you have to wait. Like I wouldn't be able to do this until hours or maybe even tomorrow, do the lettering, because your paint, these are pricey. And if you don't wait for your base coat to be completely 100% dry, you'll ruin your Posca pen. So I am about quick and easy. I like to get out my paints. If I only have 20 minutes to paint, 30 minutes to paint, a lot of times I want to finish in that amount. I'm not a person who likes to have stuff, and everybody to each his own, but I like to be done. And I am all about grabbing some time, grabbing some paints, and getting done. So I don't have the patience to wait to come back the next day or hours later with my Posca pen when my paint has dried. I could use a hairdryer. I don't want to use a hairdryer now with you guys because then, everybody's like, oh no, we can't hear you. So I'm happy with just getting my brush, taking my time while we visit and chitter chatter, and doing some brush lettering here. I traced this on, then I went over it with a Sharpie, and now I'm painting over it with my brush. Okay. And I think it was a handwritten font to begin with. It was nothing fancy. If you were so inclined, you could use a stencil. I do have a silhouette vinyl cutting machine, hence the name Teresa Silhouette Spot. And if I was making this for an order or making it for a gift, I would probably cut a stencil and then stencil it on with a stencil brush. But for this is actually a sample. I am teaching this in person to a group of kids next week. So this is going to be my sample for that. And you guys get the benefit of that. So I'm going to turn this upside down because I will definitely put my hand in it. And it doesn't matter because lettering is more of drawing and not writing. So it's not, I don't look at this as like, oh no, I have to write sweet upside down. Nope, I just look at it as tracing over these letters and making little drawing strokes. So it doesn't confuse me to be painting upside down. Another thing when lettering, especially if you're brush lettering, you can't really move the brush multiple ways with one stroke. So you can't change direction. You have to lift and then come back and lift and then start over and lift and go the other way. So I will do that way, and then I will come in here and I will do this way, and they will meet. Okay. Same thing with the double. I will go down Then I will come in here and go up, and then I will add the next stroke. And if my tops are a little bit fuzzy or wonky, I could come right in. Now S's take a few more steps, or at least one more step, because S's are snaky. And so you have to pick up your brush a few times to make it attach. And there we have it. Okay? So my lettering is done. I'm going to wash my brush. And now I'm going to go back. Oh, I need some fresh white because I dirtied up my white before with my background. Just get a little bit of white. So if you would like this tracer, please put tracer in the comments and I will get it to you. I'm just picking up a little bit of white on my liner brush. I have hardly any white on there at all. And now I'm going in and I'm adding a little highlight to my pits or seeds. These are watermelon seeds, they're not pits. And look at that, you guys. The littlest, tiniest detail. This is a knot, don't worry about that. And it just changes the look of your entire picture. Well, I think it does anyway. If you could disagree, but the littlest tiny detail. I just stuck a little bit of white into my watermelon seeds, and it just changed the whole view. So now I'm going to come in here. I just want to add a little bit of white outline out here. Just a little highlight to it. And the same thing in the red part, but just not as much. I'm going to grab some white. I'm going to go across the top. And then a little here. A little here. Okay. And then I'm just going to come in. I want to add a little bit of highlight to my lettering. And it doesn't have to be on the whole letter. Oh, I got some red in there. Let me clean my brush. It doesn't have to be the whole letter. Just be part of it. I picked up some red when I was doing my watermelon. I'm just doing a little bit of highlight in there on my letters. I think I'm going to go back over my S because it was too much and I got a little bit of pink in there. Now you don't have to do the white. It's totally up to you. I like the way it looks. I think it gives it a little bit more of a hand-drawn look. I'm going to redo that S with some black paint and then add my white again. We don't want to do too much white. I'm not going over the whole letter. I'm just adding a tiny bit of highlight on some of the areas just so you can see it, just like that. I'm going to pick up my block again and I'm going to fix this S down here. Look how easy that is. So my paint was dry. We waited for the paint to, it was dry, otherwise we would get gray. I finished all the lettering and now I'm coming back here with my black paint and I can go right over the highlighted part that I didn't like. And the same thing up here. This was a little too thick. So I'm going back over it with some black. I'm just using my little liner brush, and I have a nice flat point on it. There we go. And then I'm going to let that dry. I feel like this was a little bare up here. So what do you guys think? Cute, right? So cute. So cute. All right, let me get my white now. There we go. All right. I even did these before. I have these cutouts, and it's the same thing. These are for a different project. These are about 1/2 inch wood cutout watermelon slices. I'm missing a spot. And I painted these before. They're for something else. These are not for a class. I was hoping to do a class with these watermelons, but that didn't pan out. So I just got a few of these. These are for a group I'm in. And then, thank you, Cynthia. This is what I'm doing next week with a class. And that is that. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I love just doing some quick, easy things. Let me turn it around for you guys so you can see it. There we go. So that's cute. So you could take, oh, someone's coming in, a watermelon like this and put it on anything. You can take the lettering and put it on anything. Sometimes if you are more particular, you can use a stencil. I'm okay with the way that looks. It's a little hand lettered. I like the dark contrast with the bright green background. It makes the watermelon really, really pop. You could put like a different buffalo check on the back of this. All kinds of stuff. All kinds of stuff you could do with this watermelon. Anyway, so I hope you guys are enjoying your craft around the clock today. My project went a little bit quicker than I had hoped or thought, so I'm gonna hop off. Plus the lawnmower is still going. If you'd like the tracer, please put tracer in the comments. If you watch on the replay, please put #replay. If you have any questions, pop them in there. I will come back and answer all your questions. And I hope you guys have a great night. Bye, everyone.